All right, guys. Next, moving ahead, as I told you, the importance of USA this year for India, that both countries are celebrating 75 years of diplomatic relationship. So in that context, the Quad Summit is important. Also beyond Quad, fourth US-India 2+2 ministerial dialogue was held. First of all, let's understand what is this idea of 2+2 dialogue and with which countries do we have such a framework. So guys, whenever this term appears that a 2+2 ministerial dialogue is going to be happened, just remember, it is the engagement of two ministries from two countries. All right. First is Ministry of Defense and second is Ministry of External Affairs. Okay. So in case of USA, the Ministry of the Minister of Defense in India, that is Rajnath Singh, and the External Affairs Minister, who is nowadays very, very popular since the Russia-Ukraine war began, for his witty statements and remarks across all the forums where he is being asked that about India's neutral stance in this Russia-Ukraine war and about the energy supplies that India is securing from Russia. All right. So Dr. S. Jaishankar. All right. So, and there are two counterparts. That is Secretary of State, a counterpart of Dr. S. Jaishankar in US, whose name is Antony J. Blinken. Very important name. Do remember this. That who is the Secretary of State, or in our term, Minister for External Affairs in the government of US. The name is Antony J. Blinken. And then the counterpart of Rajnath Singh in US, that is Secretary of Defense, known as Lloyd J. Austin. All right. So 2+2 dialogue is the meeting of the ministers, these two ministries from both the sides. And the next fact that we must remember is such kind of 2+2 dialogue India has with which country? So guys, apart from US, we have 2+2 dialogue with Russia. Very important. Just remember this. Plus apart from Russia, also Japan के साथ हमारा 2+2 का dialogue you can say format है. In that 14th Indo-Japan Summit, both countries have agreed to immediately schedule the 2+2 dialogue in the upcoming months of 2022. Then we have a similar kind of 2+2 dialogue with Australia. So a total of four countries, that is first US, Russia, Japan and Australia. With these four countries, we have 2+2 dialogue format. All right. Now come to this. So what was the venue of the summit? The venue of the summit was Washington, DC. All right. And it was the fourth edition of this 2+2 dialogue. Before this, and looking at the importance of this summit, just before this summit, the President of United States of America, that is Joe Biden, and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a dialogue between them. And then with a shared commitment to democracy and pluralism, both countries forged the idea of celebrating 75 years of diplomatic relationship that I have already told you. Both countries seek to maintain a resilient rule-based international order. Obviously, these two countries, whenever they will talk about the common issues will be the Russia-Ukraine war and the China, you can say South China Sea issue, UNCLOS, and you can say the re-Talibanization in the Afghanistan. So these will be very, very common points of discussion. Anyways, the ministers were unanimous in their condemnation of the civilian deaths were in the two countries, one in Afghanistan and right now in the ongoing hostilities in Ukraine. All right. Also, both countries condemned the so-called massacre which happened at Bucha, which is generally called as Bucha massacre. Okay. Also, both countries talked about the reform in UN Charter, that is that G4 resolution. Also, the respect of international law when it comes to the global order. US then reiterated its support for India's permanent membership in the reconstituted UN Security Council, a thing which actually will be observed in December 2022, that whether which country will actually support us in reality or oppose us when that resolution might be. There is a possibility when the G4 group again will try to introduce that resolution of 2005. Also, US has supported India's membership bid to Nuclear Suppliers Group, a group of the uranium enriched countries who have uranium, which export uranium to the world. A group which interestingly was formed as a direct outcome of India's first nuclear test at Pokhran. And the project name was, as you all must be knowing this, was Smiling Buddha, right? Smiling Buddha. This was India's first nuclear test, which was conducted in Rajasthan at Pokhran, and the specific date was 18th of May 1974. So as a direct outcome of this particular Operation Smiling Buddha and our Pokhran or so-called nuclear test, a group was immediately formed in the name of Nuclear Suppliers Group, a group which now says that any country, if it wants the you can say nuclear energy or the uranium from us, from this group, must sign non-proliferation treaty and the agreements like CTBT, which is Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. This particular group functions on consensus, the principle of consensus, which means all shall agree, and there is one country over here due to which India is not getting the membership in this group, because of that India's energy security has become a very, very big challenge for us. So it is China which has very strong disagreement when it comes to India's membership, because India has not signed non-proliferation treaty of the year 1968 when it was proposed, and also the second treaty, which is known as CTBT. Full form is Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, a treaty which was proposed in the year 1996. And if you could rightfully remember that just 2 years after this, in the month of May, again, it was the second Pokhran test, which is again known as what? Mission Shakti. India conducted second Pokhran test with the code name Mission Shakti in the year 1998. All right. So United States of America, so we are trying to gain membership into this group. Since at least the year of 2017, we filed the application, but then it was rejected. All right. Then what else has been discussed over here? That the US welcomed India's commitment to participate in multilateral peacekeeping training. Next fact that I would like you to find about is, what is the rank of India? What is the rank of India when it comes to UN peacekeeping mission? Peacekeeping mission or the troops deployment in UN peacekeeping forces. India की क्या rank है in terms of troops deployment when it comes to United Nations peacekeeping forces, जिसका discussion यहाँ पर हुआ है, ठीक है?